Rolling.
Hello, gentlemen. Up there in the deep, dark north. We're down here in Florida. It's January. As you can see, the sun is still shining out there. I was out swimming on my dock here, catching some fish. Did a little alligator wrestling this morning to keep up my health. When you've had 5 heart attacks, as I have, you've got to keep up your health here.
Don't believe a word he's saying to you. He only wrestled 2 gators this morning.
So, yeah, here's Chuck. Microphone feeding back.
As usual.
Keeps turning it up.
Thanks, sir.
Anyway, we have something here. A tribute to you, John, at your 80th birthday.
Was it 80 or 85? I forget.
I knew you were older than me, but I didn't realize it was that much older.
Yeah, he's at least 2 years older.
I know I'm sure you guys look a lot different. It's amazing. I bet you're interested in the fact that I haven't changed one bit.
Yeah, me neither. It's all the
Since my
surgeries.
20s.
All the surgeries.
So here's our tribute here.
A 1 and a 2. Lawrence,
To
well,
you.
where is it?
All right. When your band ain't got a gig and you're sitting at home, call up John on the telephone. He can help. He's got everything you need. He can help. It would sure do Sherwood good to come on down, let John help.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, if your lamp is broken and you ain't got a dime, you can call John up. Anytime he will help. He's got everything you need, he will help. Well, it would sure do you good to come on down to Sherwood. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I go to sleep at night, I know John's a part of the band. And I wake up, I know he's making some plans for me. Just wait and see. Playing at the counter, the motor inn too. Down at Leisure Lodge and all over Waterloo. John's the man. He's playing the Belton unit in the band. It's a big one. I would sure do you good to come on down to Sherwood.
Alright, here we go.
Hit it. Really been practicing. When I go to sleep at night, I'm always thinking about the band and why all the girls follow John out to his van with a big bed in the back. I want to know.
Your wife has left you and you're sad and blue. Don't forget John, he's been there too, he can help. He's got everything you need, he can help. Yeah, it would sure do you good to come on down to Sherwood.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. You know, John, when you're heading down to Angie's,
Angie's,
what
I
is
thought Johnny used to hang out at Sonny's.
Sonny's, yeah, right, Sonny's.
Sonny's, yeah,
No, maybe I haven't been there in a while. Maybe they changed the name.
Artie's, maybe.
And it's 4 o'clock in the morning. You're heading down there. You've been working hard, put away wet, like you know what I'm talking about. Going to Sonny's and where's my words here? Yeah, well, that's it.
There were John's words.
Well, now the song is over, but John, it's not quite through. You got to order that dog. So here's what you do. Go up to Angie, and when he says, "What's on the dog, John?"
Yeah.
You lean over the counter, and you stick out your chest, and you reach back and give it everything you've got, and you give him Doop 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 doop.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that, Jim. You still got it. You still have it.
I do still have it.
I'm sure John still has it too. Listen, I gotta go for a brew, John. Let me let Jim talk to you here for a minute. He's got more to say than I do.
Well, I had nothing to do with it other than singing, and we're glad that you're still around. A lot of us aren't still around. I can't think of anybody that is still around other than you. And Chuck has left me as usual. I'm gonna have to undo all my equipment. And
well, one thing I gotta say, John, you do have longevity. You know, you have longevity. You hang in there.
Good hair.
Yeah, good hair, good longevity. You always had that look, even back then in the band. Remember? There you were, John, right up there. That was you. You were the man. You looked like Wolfman Jack.
Duke of Earl.
Duke of Earl, yeah. You had it all.
Duke.
I'll bet you that suit still fits you, John. You still wear it every once in a while to go out there on your nostalgia nights or possibly at Halloween. I'll bet you're wearing it as your birthday suit tonight.
Yeah, I bet you they call him the Silver Fox.
I bet he does, yeah. He's got it. Well, anyway, John, look, to sum it all up, on behalf of my brother here, the better half, we were going to do the 10 best Belton unit moments. You know, the top 10 Belton things that happened during the era when we were involved with you and Sherwood music was going strong. So, Jim, let's start with number 10. What was number 10? Do you remember number 10? I forget. We had.
I think was it Kindergarten maybe with the women.
Oh, wait. This is a family show, Jim. You got to keep it clean now. We don't want to get into those kind of situations. Let's go to number 9. That was probably when he was giving
Room
out.
55.
Wait, Jim, wait. I'm talking about, when John was handing out Girl Scout cookies and doing all those, civic duties.
What was that woman that was always hanging?
Hold on a minute now. I think we're going to have a little problem here if you start getting into those details, those ugly little details.
It seemed like John was endowed with.
Wait, hold on a minute here, Jim. I think you're.
Not that I was looking or anything, but I did notice
you're carrying this a little bit too far.
There were.
I know
men were quite envious.
Yes,
I was.
Of course, John had that big unit there that he used to play. It was a big bass jazz
Dirt
guitar.
Diggler.
Yeah, it was. He had it. His fingers were working up and down that neck like you would not believe. He kept the whole thing glued together.
Yeah, there were hard times, John. I know.
Oh boy, talk about it. No grits and gravy out there in that.
There are probably still hard times, although unfortunately not for me. After the
well, it was
prostate
just a
reduction.
Small procedure. That's what they called it, a small procedure.
Well, I'm not ashamed.
I know.
Oh, it's not about me, and it's not about you, Chuck. It's about John. So let's see.
That's right. Let's stick with John here. John.
I remember the time that John was kicking the door because Chuck was being so annoying as he always is.
What, kicking the door? Was I snoring again? I didn't believe
just
it.
angry.
A lot of noises coming out that room that were keeping John awake. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think
the party was in my room as usual. I thought it was always in John's van. Remember they said don't come knocking when Belton unit's rocking?
He didn't get in trouble for working at some women's prison, did he?
No, that was our light man. Remember old...
Are you sure?
That was Willie.
That wasn't John.
No, that wasn't
John.
John.
Was accused of...
No. John had given him a recommendation back when he was a teenager to get that job.
And he didn't have any fingers, right?
No, that was his brother, Willie. Willie was our organ player with no fingers.
Well, who was the brother then?
That was Gary.
Oh, the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister, yes. He became the Prime Minister based on his excellent record as a women's reform officer.
I remember him.
They reformed him.
Kindergarten. What was it? This is send those women down.
No, Jim, remember this is a family show. We can't carry on like this. We have to keep it clean. Let's talk about the economics of operating a music store. John always knew how to keep things lean and mean and make a profit at the bottom line. That was what he was famous for. I remember buying picks and strings from John at discounts. In fact, I don't think he made any money on it. I think it was a break-even thing, but he was such a great guy for guys in the band.
I seem to remember the first microphone John tried to sell me was one of those old Shure that from the 1940s or something like that.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is they did come back later on, but at the time it was not really what I needed.
I remember that, yes. It covered your whole face, so they couldn't call you Pretty Boy Jimmy anymore.
Yeah.
And remember the time we got banned from playing at every secondary school in Ontario? It wasn't about us, it was about John. I don't know what happened after the show, John, but those high school girls must have complained.
I remember that.
I better get out of here.
There was something about John that was just lewd, being up on stage there, that caused problems with young teenage girls, as I recall.
Oh, that's
And
right.
we got kicked out, and we couldn't play at any more high schools. And if John could just control himself, it would have been okay.
I remember it now like it was yesterday. There we were on the stage, and these girls were throwing their undergarments at the stage, but it wasn't at us. It was at John. I don't know why, but there was something that drove those ladies wild.
I don't know, maybe
Here's you, John.
maybe it was that purple spotlight. I don't know.
Blue Moon. That's right. He did have the spotlight guys mostly focus on him. I remember that.
Yeah.
We kept saying, Jim's over here singing, and you're back there.
The
in this
unit.
one. Yeah, the unit.
And I never did understand why they called him the unit.
I always thought it was eunuch, but then I realized later it was unit.
I didn't understand that at the time, and it took me many years to realize what you guys were talking about. And,
I know.
But I was never really very
Well, you were
with
kind
it
of,
at the
yeah,
time.
you were young at the time. You were a teenager.
Well,
You
I
hadn't
was-
really had
I
those
was-
biology
I was
classes.
religious, and I was trying to make something of my life, but this is not about me.
No, it's about John.
It's about
John took you down that path of no return. He turned you to the dark side. He got you all excited about those units.
I think that probably John has affected my life more than anybody that I can think of. Playing in the band with John, it kind of ruined me for everything else. I was never able to seem to get along with any other bass player after playing with John.
That's because he stuck up for you against me.
He had that bottom.
Yes, he
That
did.
bottom that just didn't quit. And when you played with John, you knew that you were never going to slip through the cracks because the bottom was always there.
That's
And
right.
having played with other bass players,
Somebody
I finally just gave up.
I remember somebody said we'd hit rock bottom when we were playing with John.
Yes.
But I don't know what they meant. At the
Chuck
time.
even tried playing bass with me, and
Yeah.
that didn't work.
I couldn't cover all those notes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm rambling on. What else can we say?
John, happy birthday to you. May you live 100 years. May you drink 100 beers. That was our old anthem, remember? And,
I thought it was the more you drink, the better we sound.
Yes, and I hope everybody, by the time they've heard this, has had plenty to drink, because if you haven't, you're going to have to go have a lot more after you hear this.
Yeah, and just remember that the McMurrays are still here and still kicking each other.
That's right. And John, we do want to apologize before we go here about all those royalties that we absconded with from Canada and came to Florida from Jimmy and the
Thought you weren't
Rainbows.
going to tell them about that.
Well, I know, but I'm feeling bad now. It's his 70th birthday. It doesn't matter anymore. He's probably on Canada pension, getting all kinds of retirement benefits. He doesn't need that money anymore. But John, it was my nature to copyright all those songs.
Well, it was amazing that when it got over to South Africa, some of those Jimmy and the Rainbows tunes, and they began to use those as an anthem for freedom and
That's right.
and inequality over there. They became famous. Jimmy and the Rainbows became one of the most popular groups in South Africa.
That's right. And then they idolized John. They always wanted to know who he was. It was an enigma. Who is that man, that masked man? We want him. But unfortunately, I had all the credits in my name, and they were copyrighted and registered with the patent office. And so, unfortunately, all those checks came to me. I was stupid enough to tell Jim about it, so I had to give him 20%.
Well, I didn't really get 20%.
Well, that was
he was able to take his 5% cut out of the 20% for being my agent.
Well, your 20% was fair because we split it 5 ways. I just got 4 of the 5, that's all.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
Well, anyway, John, I know you don't need the money anymore, but I do want to let you know that you did become famous in South Africa as a result of all those efforts that you'd made back then working on your unit. And we don't want to take credit for it. That's why we're telling you about it now. You're probably wondering where you can find these things. Well, if you go on YouTube, look it up, you'll find it all there.
Yeah. They even made a movie called, what that was?
That was a
Searching for the Unit.
Yes. That was some raccoon trying to get in your house here, I think. All right, well, we've had enough of this show. This you can use.
We could go on.
Yeah,
I mean, you could just play this all evening like we were there, and it would be like we were there.
Right.
Because we would be.
You could put it on a loop. You could put it on a loop and just go back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, I hope some of our old friends are still up there. My friends. I don't know if Jim ever had any friends, but I had lots of friends up there. I hope they're still around. I can't think of any of them. I don't remember their names or faces or places. I just know I felt like I had friends, didn't I, John?
I would come into Sherwood's all the time, and nobody even recognized me. And I got the prices of and checked out the various units, and then bought them on the internet at eBay.
Oh, yeah, geez, talk about cheap. Of course, you know, he's been living on the cheap all his life. He's still living, actually, off some of the money he saved when he was Jimmy of Jimmy the Rainbows. That's how cheap he is.
And my wife.
And his wife. She's not cheap. She just pays for him. Okay, John. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope you have a great birthday. Maybe we'll stop by and see you when the weather breaks.
Scott, Larry.
Yeah,
Paul.
Larry is still around, Paul.
Gang down there.
The whole gang down at Sherwood. Yeah, you go ahead and use our song. You can probably put it on the radio and everybody will be lined up out there like Black Friday trying to get in. So anyway, we'll see you this summer hopefully when the weather's warm. And if you've got any intentions of coming down to Florida, get in touch with us and we'll set you up in a youth hostel somewhere near the YMCA and maybe we'll come and visit you. What do you think, Jim?
Have you ever had gator tail? It's delicious.
Yeah, especially when it's out of season.
Well, most of them are over in Gainesville. Around here we have Seminole tail.
Oh boy. All right, we don't want to go any further down that road, but let's just say this. It's been a real blast talking to you, John, but hopefully we'll save the rest of our comments until your 80th birthday next year.
It still works.
Good night, all. Good night. Oh, it stopped recording.